Sponsored by Dennis J. Courtney, M.D., Director of the Courtney Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 for Dennis J. Courtney, M.D.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, for each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, and fascinating health topics. Always, of course, we encourage you to call in to join in if you have a mind to do so. The number to do that is, you should well know by now, 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. Today, well, truth be told, the holidays are just around the corner. It's scary. But they're fast coming upon us. Of course, around the holidays, there's this dreaded concern about, will you gain weight this particular holiday? And how are you going to plan either to prevent it or to deal with it if it, in fact, does happen? Well, today, our good friend, and one we've come to really trust and provide us with some interesting ways to deal with today's common health problems in a natural way, is Dr. Vavavoom herself, Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, and she's going to be our guest today, talking about 10 tips to prevent you from gaining weight over these holidays, which, as I say, is just coming around that corner. Now, I've been in a discussion with Dr. Smith-Jones. You want to call in to ask a question or to make that comment, as I've told you already, and I'll tell you once again, the number to do that will be 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. We'll be with Susan right after our first break and take her all the way up to the top of the hour. Now, as the month clips along, don't forget tomorrow, MCG testing is here in our office. If you're enrolled, there still are some slots available. If, in fact, you think you want to become a part of the MCG testing, this multifunctional cardiogram that has been a real trendsetter around here since February of this year, when we first introduced the concept and the use of taking a completely benign electronic procedure and casting a light and shining a light on your cardiovascular status, in particular the coronary arteries, so important. Everyone's very much concerned about the big ones, the heart attack, and oftentimes wind up in a predicament that leads them to an emergency room and then to the very consequential cardiac cath laboratory. Well, yes, it may be the gold standard, and it certainly is the gold standard to assess the coronary arteries. Who wants to ever be put in a position where you actually would need one of those things? But the information that's obtainable from learning the status of your coronary arteries, anyone would have to agree, would be helpful to know if, in fact, you had an inkling of what your status was, that you could do something about it now before you wound up in those emergency room situations. Well, of course, that's where MCG testing comes in, a completely non-threatening, non-eventful, and completely safe, with no side effects, lying on a bed over the course of a 6-minute testing time period. You're none the worse for the wear by the time the 6 minutes is up, but in that 6 minutes, you have had 5 different tests run, one every 82 seconds, which is then sent off to be analyzed and compared to a database of 42,000 plus patients. And these patients, unfortunately, although they have had MCG testing, they unfortunately have also had a cardiac cath. And so we can extrapolate out electronically, and I keep saying I don't know how it does it, but it does, to tell us what the status, how much plaque do you have in those coronary arteries. It's possible to know. And then, of course, the better part of the reason why you would want to know is to do something about it. so as to stop further progression of the disease, and then, God forbid, back it up to reach an improvement level heretofore not seen by conventional medical physicians at all. Unfortunately, and although this is a device that is just slowly working its way into the area, there are very few conventional doctors that have a device, but I think that the disappointment in how the device is used is pervasive now, because they just don't know what to do with improving the cardiovascular status, and they end up using the tool to determine when to schedule the cath. Just don't quite get it. Okay, MCG test from tomorrow. By the way, the Monroeville folks, we start out there this month. You know, we're going to be out there on the 22nd, which is a Tuesday. So if you live in the Monroeville area or more geographically desirous of making it to the eastern part of the Pittsburgh area, you can call here at 724-942-3002. We will schedule you to be seen and have the testing done on the 22nd at the new Med Health Services office, literally across the street from the old Med Health Services office, right there on Moss Side Boulevard. It's quite a complex and plenty of room now for additional things to be done. That's why we've been invited to come back, and we're looking forward to it. That starts on the 22nd. So tomorrow here, still slots available. 22nd out in Monroeville, and then we'll keep advising you who listen to our radio shows each and every month what those dates will be. There will always be the date each month here and a date each month out there. Of course, if you're patients of mine, you'll be able to get this study done at any time that you happen to be seeing me anyway. And just give us a call to get that scheduled at 724-942-3002. Now we also have the kits are in here for the HCG testing. A very interesting laboratory. HCG, of course, is the pregnancy hormone that is human chorionic gonadotropin. Whenever a woman thinks she's pregnant and goes and gets a blood test to find out if she is, it's HCG that they're looking for to make that determination. Turns out, however, that HCG is made by trophoblasts, and trophoblasts appear to be the common rudimentary beginnings of all cancers, and as such, this sensitive marker now in pregnancy, there's so much HCG that the testing is absolutely positive whenever pregnancy occurs, because the quantity of HCG is immense. The quantity in HCG in a cancerous situation is very minute, especially in the early stages, and especially considering that HCG testing is now done to such a level that you can detect a cluster of 12 cells or greater. 12 cells is just an unbelievably small number of cells. Figure it takes billions of cells to exist, to be putting on a head of a pin, let alone what 12 cells may offer. Anyway, HCG testing, you've heard Dr. Emil Shandel discuss it with us here. He was here last month. I direct you to the archives, and I say, please, if you have any interest in this CA profile that is done by American Metabolic Laboratories, give us a call. We are the draw site for it. It will require a prescription from a physician to do it. We're happy to act in that capacity to make certain that you can get this done. And then, of course, we can go over the results and discuss what the results would indicate and what you can do about them. HCG testing, also available here now in our offices. Okay. By the way, I enjoyed having Roland with us on Monday, talking about the bioengineered algae concentrates. I call it the all-inclusive of supplements, because the one supplement seems to cover the entire board in terms of the total necessary supplementation that one should be taking on a daily basis. So vitamins, all the minerals, all the traces, all the amino acids, antioxidants, enzymes, fats, they're all in one very uniquely formulated substance called, well, there's 3 degrees of it, F1, F2, and F3. Each with advancing number is a higher concentration of the substance. We carry the F3 product here. It's carried only a couple other places in the Pittsburgh area. It is unique, and although it's expensive at the beginning, this thing turns out to be quite economical in the end because it takes the place of 6 to 7 other supplements. You can call, we do ship it out. You can call here at 724-942-3002. That about rounds out the public announcements for today. Let's do this much now. Let's take a short break. In the interim, I'll go out to the West Coast. The dawn is the sun's just coming up over the eastern hills out there in L.A. We'll be talking in a moment with Dr. Vavavoom herself, Susan Smith-Jones, to prevent that weight gain over the holidays, as they say, right around the corner. Be right back in a moment with Susan.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Have you been to the doctor lately? Was fatigue top of your complaint list? Even if your doctor asks you what you eat, the recommended 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day is a dream in your busy schedule. What if you learned of a product 5 years in the formulation that delivers 5 servings of fruits and minerals in just 1 ounce? That's right, it's Fruit of the Spirit. The blessings of Fruit of the Spirit are now formulated into a delicious whole fruit puree product rich in antioxidants and minerals. Your health is more than just a test result. It's a balance of physical, spiritual, and emotional factors. You work regularly to strengthen your faith, let Fruit of the Spirit help cover your nutritional needs in a convenient and cost-effective ounce a day. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. Fruit of the Spirit, 5 servings of fruits and minerals with no added sugars. That's 1-800-442-3793 for your good health. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Wednesday morning version of the show and a monthly obligation I just look forward to each and every month. We bring a special gal to have a special discussion with you very special people on a special topic that's quite timely, scary as it may be. Yes, those holidays are right around the corner. And I do know that this is a scary time, especially for a lot of ladies who do worry about putting weight on over the holidays. The men don't necessarily worry, they just have to battle with it when it's all said and done. Nonetheless, tips today from our expert, 10 different ways to help prevent the accumulation of any weight over the holidays. Well, that at least is the idea behind our show. I bring her back to you now and say good morning and welcome back, Dr. Susan Smith-Jones.
Dr. Dennis, I'm always so happy to be with you. And, you know, this is a very sensitive topic because, you know, here's the sobering truth. Between the week of Thanksgiving and the first week of January, 60% of Americans gain between 5 and 10 pounds.
I never heard that stat before. That's
I know. And, So I have a novel idea for everyone listening. This year, let's have you arrive at the 1st of January feeling like you've had some control over the holidays, where you haven't gained any weight, where you feel good, you feel positive about the new year. So I'm going to go through some of my favorite tips that will help you prevent weight gain over the holidays, will help you stay healthy. And now, while these are great during the holidays, they're also good to use all year long. It's all about behavior modification. Whether you have holiday parties or family gatherings during the year, or you go on vacation, often those are times when you eat a little differently and you eat more and you splurge. And it's not about not being able to splurge during the holidays, but it's about doing it in the proper way so you can enjoy the holidays, eat what you want, but not gain weight. So these are the things I'm going to cover.
Seems an impossible task. Eat what you want, but not to gain weight. Oh, my goodness gracious. If I thought this was a TV commercial, I'd have to be running to switch the channel. But I know you, and you know what? I'm going to be really anxious to hear what those tips are. All right, ladies, get your pen and paper ready to go here, because why don't you start firing away?
All right, and I think it's men, too. You say they don't worry, but I think men would prefer not to gain weight over the holidays.
Well, I guess maybe they would. I just don't look at it as so critical for them. But, hey, what do I know? I know that the ladies really battle over this issue. It's a big thing for them.
I know. And I always say they're back. And it's a reminder of really how quickly this year's gone by. Now, Dr. Dennis, I want everyone to know you don't need to take notes, because all of this information, all of these tips and many more tips are right on my website. So you can go to SusanSmithJones.com, click in the November newsletter. I'll tell you more about what's on there later. And there's a blog that will be posted within 2 hours, all about these tips, so you'll have them all right there.
We seem to be right on the cutting edge of your newsletter each and every time we do a show. Last one, you had just finished your newsletter. Now this one appears as though you're going to finish it as soon as you get off the...
No, not the newsletter. The blog. I have a blog.
Oh, you have so many.
Yeah, the November newsletter has been posted I posted it the 2 days before November. Yeah, so this is a new blog today. Actually, it's for your listeners. It's for this show, so you can have all these tips. And, all right, so the first tip is, and I've got 83 of them. No, just kidding. So the first one is, eat frequently and don't skip meals. Now, that's a good idea, but you see, a common strategy, especially during the holidays, is to skip breakfast and lunch, because you know a big meal's coming, so you want to save up the calories for the big celebration meal. But you see, this strategy always backfires, because you usually will come to the meal starving and wind up eating way more than you ever intended. So eating frequently throughout the day on healthy foods, and smaller bites, not huge meals each time, will help to eliminate that hunger, helps prevent overeating, and it also, as you know, stabilizes your blood sugar. And even a small meal of something healthy is better than nothing at all, say that morning and mid-morning and lunch before you go to the big meal. So don't skip meals, because that slows down your metabolism, and that's not what you want. So that's tip number 1. All right, good start. Yes, tip 2 is always bring healthy snacks with you out shopping or in the car. Now, this is in line with that first guideline, because if you're roaming the malls for hours or sitting in holiday traffic, that usually leaves everyone starving and vulnerable to the usually bad fast food choices. Now, I was a Girl Scout, so this is why I'm recommending this. If you come prepared to roam around with some crunchy, healthy snacks like apples, oranges, celery, carrots, always a good dip, helps you to eat those, and even some nuts or raisins, but make sure to watch the portion size on those last two, because they're more calorie dense. They're higher in calories. But if you come prepared with some things to snack on so your blood sugar level doesn't get too low, you'll be less likely to succumb to the call of that food court or those fast food restaurants.
All right, seems like a good one. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, number 3. Oh, these are all good, Dr. Dennis. Number 3, you always want to have something before you go out, especially if you're going out to a holiday party or a big dinner. Now, here's why. See, you know what foods you need to stay away from, especially during the holidays. Those foods are a lot harder to resist if you're starving and your blood sugar level is low. So an ounce of prevention goes a long way here. So a piece of fresh fruit, some fresh veggies, a cup of soup, that's always good, a glass of tomato or vegetable juice, whole grain crackers, a piece of whole grain toast with some fresh jam on it will keep your appetite at bay. And if you try these, about an hour before the big holiday dinner, just, a few little bites, you'll watch your willpower soar as your waistline stays in place. And by the way, I forgot to mention at the top of the show that I told Sylvia I'd say hello to her during our next show. So, hi, Sylvia. She listens to you all the time.
Sylvia Provenza, we all know her. We all love her. She's so helpful. She's the one that keeps bringing the new guests come to town each and every month. And I know she's working on trying to get you here. Hopefully, that'll happen pretty soon. Pittsburgh is dying to meet you, Dr. Joe.
Yes, I know. Won't that be fun? And I already told her I wanted you to introduce me at this big event.
Oh, my goodness. You're going to pull me out of retirement. It's been so long since I've been
Yes, I am.
But I guess I promise to do just that when you come. Not if, it's when you come. And
when.
We'll announce it as soon as you and Sylvia get that on the board.
All right, sounds great. All right, now tip number 4 is don't hang out near the food. If you go to a party and there's a big buffet, if you put some distance between you and the food, that creates a necessary obstacle between you and the calories. And besides, you have to walk more to go back and forth between the food and where you're hanging out, and this always burns extra calories. Yeah, and, everyone, make sure you get out a pen and paper, because before the show is up, I'm going to tell you how to get a couple of my really popular full-color natural remedy booklet CD combos free as a gift. You'll find out how you can get those. One is Conquer Colds and Allergies. The other one is Weight Loss. Make it easy. And these are good booklets to keep. They're both about 48 to 150 pages, and to keep with you, to read during the holiday time and especially the beginning of the year. All right, so we've gone through 4. Here's tip 5, Dennis. Don't just eat to be social. See, lots of people will eat just because everyone around them is eating. So try to avoid eating if you're hanging out at a party just because everyone around you is chowing down and inhaling their food. Because if you're, especially if you're standing up and people are holding plates of food and alcohol. By the way, we should tell everyone that on December 7th, I'll be back with you, and my topic will be 2 parts. One is how to prevent and cure hangovers naturally. Yeah, good one. I hear you laughing.
Well, because they're so timely. This one is the one about don't gain weight over the holidays, and before the holidays, great to have this. And I think the next one is probably appropriate, too, just before all that craziness, all the parties take place.
I know.
Right.
Who doesn't want? And then I'll also add in some tips on how to prevent and heal a cold or an allergy or the flu. I mean, I haven't had either a cold or a flu in over 25 years. So that one of the booklets you can get today free gives my whole program, so you'll have that. All right, so I'm saying don't eat just to be social. If you're not really hungry, but you want to keep your hands busy, nibble on a carrot stick, a celery stick, or sip on something low calorie. You know, I know how it is. You might feel a little awkward when everyone around you at a party standing up is eating and you have nothing to hold on to. So try to find low-calorie things. All right, number 6, easier said than done. Watch out for all those processed carbs, because even though it's the holidays, you're going to find processed carbs like loads of cookies and cakes and pies and breads, crackers, chips will be everywhere. And even though the chips, crackers, breads aren't always sweet, most are so high in refined starch, which converts to sugar in the body very quickly. And with no fiber in these foods, Dennis, to slow its release into the system, it can end up very quickly as stored fat. You know, so I know many ladies listening can think that they just look at the buffet and they feel it already on their hips. But just watch out for those processed carbs. So, listen, you haven't talked much. Any comments on those?
You're clipping away. I just couldn't help but remember when you talked about coming back next month. Ladies and gentlemen, what day of the month of December do you think we should bring her back? It's only appropriate that it be December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. That's what I was thinking about. But go right ahead.
All right, good, good. Nice to know what you're thinking. Good,
yeah.
Good. All right, so number 7, I'm always into planning ahead, you know, especially during the holidays. And these are all, remember, behavioral modification tips. So plan around where you're going, what temptations are likely to arise, and then how are you going to deal with them. And it's good to decide in advance. This is what I do. This helps me. Decide in advance what you're going to allow yourself, but prepare for it so you don't go overboard. For example, if you know you're going to a holiday party and it's not a sit-down dinner, but it will be a buffet of lots of desserts, you make sure you arrive having eaten, like I said before. Tip number 3, have something an hour before you go so you don't arrive famished. Your blood sugar level is not low. And then, you know, it's psychologically, it's better if you take a plate that's a little bit smaller than a big plate because it looks more filled. And it is more filled if it's a smaller plate. And keep in mind this tip. You know, as I grew up, I don't know about you, but my mom always said that I had to clear and clean my plate. And there were kids in China that didn't have food.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that one?
Same one, sure.
Yeah. But here's what you need to know now. It's okay to taste things without finishing them. And if you can remember, when you taste things, to eat slowly. Savor every bite. You know, if you're sitting down and you're actually using utensils, a fork, put the fork down. Or if you're standing up, you can taste it and chew slowly and enjoy it. Oftentimes when we're in a social setting, like a party, or maybe at a movie theater when our mind is distracted, or maybe in front of a TV set, we just eat on automatic pilot. Do you ever experience that? And before you know it, you sat down to have a slice of the pie, and then the whole pie is gone. So it's best to be really aware and conscious of what you're eating and be mindful. Live in that moment. You have a piece of chocolate or a beautiful cookie or one piece of pie. Enjoy that, but maybe leave a little bit on the plate. And each time you leave a little bit, what it does is it makes you feel like you have more, and you do, more self-discipline and willpower, and that makes your confidence and self-esteem soar. So just remember, it's okay to taste things without finishing them. So that's tip 7. You know, and let me mention right now, you know that I debuted a couple months ago my brand new book called Walking on Air, your 30-day inside and out rejuvenation makeover. It's a program that I tested on thousands of people around the world. I taught the program at UCLA for 30 years. It's a small little book. You've got it.
Yep.
And it offers a 30-day life-changing step-by-step program. So at the end of 30 days, you've got a simple 10-minute, if you have 10 minutes a day to devote to the plan, In 30 days, you'll be rejuvenated inside and out and feel like you're walking on air. And that book was designed to go with the Joy Factor, the previous book, but you can get either of those books, Walking on Air or the Joy Factor. You can purchase them at this toll-free number, and it's in Philadelphia. It's 1-800-523-9971. 1-800-523-9971. Now, Dennis, you know, you can get them at Amazon or Barnes & Noble, but if you call and get them through this number, which with each book that you purchase, you can get a bonus gift of my beautiful full-color natural remedy booklet CD combos. And, you know, the ones we're offering right now, because it's timely this time of year, is one's Conquer Colds and Allergies. Who doesn't want to know how to not get a cold this season? And the other one is all about weight loss. It's called Weight Loss, and I make it really easy for you. So you can, if you only bought one, let's say you got Walking on Air, you can choose. Do you want Conquer Colds and Allergies or Weight Loss free? And if you buy both books, you get both booklets free. So we'll give that number again at the end of the show.
Absolutely. Wonderful deal. Sure.
Now, tip 8 is, you know, and again, these are good weight loss tips all year long. 8 is fiber is your secret weapon. See, not only is fiber supremely healthy and directly related to the reduction of risks for a whole host of diseases, but it's a huge player in the weight loss field. Because when you eat fiber, and fiber is only found in plant-based foods, not in animal products. You know, so lots of your plant-based foods, your vegetables, your fruits, your whole grains, your nuts and seeds. But when you eat fiber, it contributes to a feeling of fullness. So here's the key point for 8. You want to consume as many high-fiber foods as possible before attacking any other food. So you arrive at a big party, there's a buffet table. Before going to the bread and the butter and the desserts and the cheesy, creamy sauces and whatever else you eat, choose something that could be raw or just vegetables, fruits, something before you turn to the high-sugar, low-fiber junk that converts to fat relatively quickly. You know, and even year-round, let's say you go to an Italian restaurant. They usually put bread and butter right on the table, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
And then you usually chow down on that. But I would say ask them to take the bread and butter away. Start with a cup of soup or a salad, or if you get a plate of hors d'oeuvres, choose the vegetables, and that will help you feel a little full so that when the plate of pasta or the pizza arrives, you're not going to eat the entire thing. All right. So how are we doing, Dennis?
We're doing good. We're up to 8?
Yeah, we've done 8. Yeah, remember, how many do we have? No. Actually, we're going to go through, we're almost halfway through. All right, so this next one is twofold. There are 2 sides to it, number 9. The first side is you've got to eat slowly. I mean, for anybody that wants to shed weight, whether it's a few pounds or a few hundred, this is so important because hormones in your body signal the brain when you're full. But it takes about 20 minutes from start time before you feel it. So slow eating not only aids in digestion, but gives your brain a chance to know what your stomach is doing. So if you make the meal last by talking, putting down your fork between bites, or just plain waiting, you see, then you're less likely to eat on automatic pilot, and you're more likely to realize that you're full. And besides, eating slowly is good for digestion, because when you eat slowly and you're not inhaling your food, you don't take in as much air, which means you're not going to create as much gas in your body, which means you can be more social with people and not spend lots of time alone. And you want to chew your food thoroughly. it's interesting how I watch people at, wherever I go, and it's in an eating environment, and most people chew 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then they swallow the food. But you've got to chew it so well that it becomes, it's masticating. It becomes a liquid, because half of the digestion is done in your mouth, and if you can chew well, then it takes stress off your entire digestive system. And honestly, Dennis, you'll be so amazed by how much willpower you have and that you can generate when you take your time and you give you that satiety center in your brain an opportunity to tell you that you aren't that hungry anymore. Now, here's the flip side of number 9, and it's huge. It is so huge. And most people don't know this, and this is one of the big reasons why you don't lose weight. And that is when you have a big meal, like a big holiday meal, a big birthday meal, anniversary meal, family gathering, whatever it is, and especially during the holidays, we have bigger meals. You want to finish the big meals within 1 hour of starting. And here's why. Again, I said you want to eat slowly. Make it last longer than 20 minutes, but you want to eat that big meal within an hour of starting the meal. That's because the body produces a second insulin hit if it senses that lots of food is coming in continuously. And you can avoid that second hit and all the subsequent fat storage that it triggers by finishing within an hour of starting. So if you see something that you want to eat that you forgot to eat within the hour, that's okay. Save it for later. Save it for tomorrow. It will still be there, but you won't be wearing it on your hips.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that second insulin hit before. Seems like it makes good physiological sense. I just had never heard it phrased that way.
Most people haven't. And you know what I noticed with, I've had a private practice since the early 80s, and people come to me from all over the world, or I go to them, and I teach them, among many other things, on how to live naturally, and, I've never taken any medication. I look to nature, but I help them to lose weight. And lots of people who deal with this weight loss issue, what they do, even if it's not during the holidays, is they'll eat a big meal, and, they're watching TV, so they eat, and an hour has passed, and then another hour or 2 goes by, and they're not hungry, but they keep eating, not out of hungriness, but because they're bored or stressed, or because the clock says, all right, it's dinner time, even though they ate a lot 2 hours before, or they're, emotionally upset. They eat for the wrong reasons, and all of that extra food continually, again, like I just said, produces all the extra insulin, and all that extra insulin circulating in your body triggers lots of fat storage. That's why we've talked about before, and it's in my new book, Walking on Air, and the free booklet you can get with it called Weight Loss. That's why you've got to graze throughout the day. Like I said in tip 1, eat frequently, about every 3 hours, and don't skip meals. So you eat frequently, smaller meals, and it's like kindling in the fire that stokes your metabolism.
Great advice. Let's do this much, Susan. Let's take a short break. We'll come back. 800 numbers again. Talk about that. I like the idea that if they call it in, they can get to pick from your CD booklet combination, and re-mention that, and then we'll be off and conclude with the remaining, I don't know, how many points left? 7 or 8, I think, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Susan Smith-Jones in a moment to finish off how to prevent that weight loss over the holidays, and to give you more information how to get hold of her book, as well as the booklets and CDs. Be back in a moment.
Honey, just got the word. The company's new health plan has a $5,000 deductible. We have to make sure nobody gets sick this year. Remember what those doctor's visits cost for last year's colds and flu? Oh, sorry, I gotta go. Love you.
We can do this. We can cut the fast food lunches. Soda, that's a lot of sugar. We could all take that evening walk. And hey, I heard a program about fruit. Fruit of the Spirit. What did they say? 1 ounce, the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits with herbs and minerals. We could add some to our breakfast protein shake. Fruit of the Spirit is a unique whole fruit puree. Fruit of the Spirit contains fresh fruits native to the Holy Land and alkalizing minerals from the Dead Sea. With no added sugars, Fruit of the Spirit is a unique product from 5 years of work from science-based nutritional experts. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. Fruit of the Spirit, convenient, affordable, and delicious. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instruction, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again for Amy Impact on Your Health. Here in a Wednesday morning version of the show where we're with a very good friend of ours. You've come to know and love her as I have. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones continually brings you information and advice, practical advice you can use from the moment the show ends, and starting on a new vein for how to make the end of the year less problematic for you and a new vision for how the new year can help you attain the health goals that you want for yourself. Now, Dr. Smith-Jones, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Smith-Jones, you're funny. Call me Susan.
Okay. We'll cut the formalities then, Susan. Of course, do you know I call you Dr. Vavavavoom? Do you know that?
I know
okay, you do. Okay, all right.
You're silly.
All right. Please tell our listeners, because I think this is a great little gift you could give out over the holidays, actually, because everyone would love the gift of health, especially when you don't know what to give somebody. How do they get a hold of these books again? And then how can they get a hold of, as a little free giveaway, the booklets and CDs? I didn't realize that CDs are becoming part of your armamentarium, but I'll just bet that they work very well for you.
Oh, yeah. See, I have a series of 7 wonderful booklets on natural remedies on all different topics. But the 2 we're giving away right now, free with each purchase of one of my other books. One's on Conquer Colds and Allergies, and the subtitle is Surefire Tips to Find Comfort Naturally and Boost Your Immune System. And the other one is on weight loss. And again, you can go to Amazon, you can go to Barnes & Noble, but if you call this toll-free number, I'll give you again in a moment, then you can buy the book, Walking on Air, my brand new book with a 30-day rejuvenation program. It takes 10 minutes a day, and it's a companion book called The Joy Factor. Wayne Dyer wrote the foreword for that book. And with each purchase of both of those books, or one of them, you can get a free booklet, full color, that has a CD in the back of it. But the way you get it is through this telephone number, and it's from 8:30 to 5, so they're open now. See, they got the first 10,000 copies of my 2 new books, The Joy Factor and Walking on Air, and these booklets. And so if you go through them, that's how you can get the booklets free with each purchase. The number is 1-800-523-9971. 1-800-523-9971.
An East Coast number, and so they won't have
It's
to wait.
East Coast, yes,
As soon as
right
the show
now.
is over, the folks will be there ready to answer that phone
Yes,
call.
and you know what? If you want more information on the books, just go to my website. It's my name, Susan Smith Jones, just like you think it's spelled, SusanSmithJones.com. Right on the home page, scroll down, you'll see these books. You'll also see information on my full-color recipe book. You know, I've been a culinary instructor for almost 35 years, and I've got an amazing recipe book that's new called Recipes for Health Bliss, over 250 recipes and 150 color photos. Also, keep in mind that every day I have a new inspirational quote. I change every morning. It's very early before any of you wake up. It's on my website. And also in my November newsletter. You know, I don't know if you got the answers from last month, but they're still here in November.
I did get the answer. By the way, I was missing one. Let me tell you the one I didn't get, okay?
Yes.
Because this bothered me. I couldn't come up with the...
And let's tell them only this one, because we'll have them look.
Yeah, but the one I
and they
didn't
don't
get...
know what we're talking about.
Well, there are 10 body parts.
Body parts with only 3 letters. Can you name 10 body parts with 3 letters? And you are not allowed to use slang or jargon.
Well, let me tell you the one I didn't
answers
get.
are in my November newsletter.
Okay, I got 9. And then when I went to look, and I did go look in the newsletter, I missed... Oh, I can't believe this. I missed leg.
Leg. It's so obvious.
I missed leg.
No,
I'm like feeling my leg, looking for body parts, saying, okay, what on my leg is it that there's 3 letters, and I missed the leg. Anyway.
I know. And you know, most people get 5 or 6. Really smart people get 8 or 9, but most people will not get all 10.
I didn't.
I know. So you'll find the answers right there on the home page. Look at my photo, and there's a button that says November Newsletter. You'll also find out the world's best, safest, and my favorite multivitamin. You'll learn how, in the newsletter, the best natural remedies for a sore throat and a cough and a cold. You'll find out what food to eat only a quarter of a cup of every day to cut your chances of cancer by 50%. You'll also learn about a really easy, simple way to have a little side home business and make money by growing something in your kitchen. And you'll learn about the worst healthy fast foods. If you go to fast food restaurants and get some foods you think are healthy, well, think again. So there's all of this and so much more in the November newsletter, and it's free. You just click on November. But if you go to the sidebar and click on Subscribe and Win, and you just sign up for the newsletter, you get it early. You also find out when I'm doing the major national TV talk shows, and you're entered into a drawing where I pick every week, and I'll pick someone from your listening audience, whoever subscribes today. You just click a button to subscribe, and then I contact you, and we set up a time when you have at least an hour, and I call you, and we have a visit. You can ask me any health questions you want, and if you have no health issues, then we can just talk about anything you want for an hour. I love meeting people, and I'll pick from whoever signs it, because today, at the end of the day, is when I will pick for this next week. So make sure you go to the sidebar. And by the way, if there's any topic you want to know about, in the sidebar I have a search button, and you can put whatever you want in there, from losing weight to, you know, no holiday weight gain to, you know, favorite multivitamin, and things you'll be able to get to the place on the website right away.
Okay, seems
and
like...
the telephone number is 1-800-523-9971. Again, if you purchase Walking on Air or The Joy Factor or my recipe book, Recipes for Health Bliss, with each purchase of each book, you can get a free gift, my full-color natural remedy booklet CD combo. So there you go. All right. So should we move on to tip 10?
We should, because you got time's flicking on. I
I
about
know,
7 or 8
because
left.
the rest are short. Time 10, when all else fails, portion control can help. See, many people lose weight and keep it off with this one simple strategy of portion control. Because eliminating or even limiting certain foods is harder, especially during the holidays. So the next best thing to do during these times is to eat reasonably smaller portions, limit the foods you know you should limit, and don't overstuff yourself. All right. Another key is, and we've talked about this before, you're going to love this one because you've got to get sleep. Research shows that when you skimp on sleep, it interferes with your body's ability to process all those carbohydrates you'll be eating during the holidays. That leads to elevated blood sugar levels and then more fat deposited on your body. So make sure you get enough sleep. Absolutely. And here's another tip. You've got to keep your body hydrated with good water. And remember, not any liquid will do, because teas that have caffeine in them, coffee, colas, alcoholic beverages, they're wet, but they're not water. They're anti-water. They dehydrate your body.
That is correct.
And one of the ways you can tell if your body's hydrated is hold out your hand and look at the top of your hand, not the palm side, but the top side. And take your other thumb and finger and pinch a little bit of skin on the top of your hand. Pinch it and release. Are you doing that, Dennis?
I'm doing it.
Pinch and release. If it goes right back to where it should be, rather than staying kind of pinched like, you're not dehydrated. But if it doesn't go back fairly quickly, your body's dehydrated. So make sure you keep your body hydrated with good water. And remember that if you want to stay looking young or you want to look younger, lack of moisture in our faces causes wrinkles, the way lack of moisture in grapes causes raisins, or plums causes what? Prunes. Prunes. I know it's too early to ask you too many questions, Dennis. And then another tip is always know during the holidays or year-round, it's not about being perfect. It's about just doing the best that you can. And most of us by now know what our trigger foods are and the effects certain foods can have on our mood, our appetite, and our energy. And we also know which foods are the worst foods that we should be staying away from. So if you can abstain from problem foods all the time, especially during the holidays, at least abstain from them most of the time, because most of the time is a lot better than none of the time. And then remember, it's not a diet. If you think of yourself as being on or off a diet, you're going to get in lots of trouble. And here's why. You know, motivational-wise, behavioral modification-wise, because as soon as you think or feel that you've gone off your diet, most people, especially ladies listening, you really go off, as in the deep end. You know, you think, oh, I messed up today and it's Wednesday or Thursday, so I might as well just keep chowing down and I'll begin again next Monday or the beginning of the month.
Go on a binge.
Yeah, exactly. So don't set yourself up for this kind of disaster. And I've got lots of motivational tips on my website and in my new books. But a taste of something doesn't mean you've sinned and doesn't mean, what the heck, I might as well eat the whole thing. And also, one bad meal doesn't mean you have to ruin the rest of the day or the week. So be smart about this. And then my last tip, and, you know, as simple as this sounds, it is effective. Visualize yourself as a healthy person. Visualizing your food goals and all of your health or other goals as already completed. You know, visualize yourself at your ideal weight and shape and glowing with health. That helps keep you on course and hastens your success. I always take 3 to 5 minutes every day. I sit down, I close my eyes, I breathe in slowly and deeply, and I usually take a goal and I visualize it as already coming to fruition. And then I say thank you. And then I always affirm this or something better I now accept in my life. And remember, most people like to have a program to follow. So my new book that just came out called Walking on Air, Your 30-Day Inside and Out Rejuvenation Makeover, what it does is it gives you one, for each of the 30 days, I give you one simple practice that will help you refocus on total wellness. And it is designed, because I've tested it on thousands of people, I know it works, and it's designed to create lasting change. So after a month's dedication to the plan, you'll be rejuvenated inside and out, less bound to earth by all those anxious and physical complaints, and you'll feel like you're walking on air. And what I discovered, Dennis, is most people use it now every month. You know, it's great to start for January 1st, but start on December 1st, and then use that. And it takes 10 minutes a day. Keep it on your bedside table. I give you the practice for the day, an affirmation, an action step to take, and if you have 10 minutes to spare, you'll be looking and feeling better than you have in years at the end of 30 days. So lots of people are just using it every month to keep them on course. Again, you can get the book at this toll-free number, 1-800-523-9971. You can get it by itself, or you can get the companion book to go with it, The Joy Factor. And if you want the most beautiful recipe book you've ever seen in your life, Louise Hay is a famous motivational speaker and author, but she said, Recipes for Health Bliss, my full-color recipe book, is the most beautiful health book on the planet. It is, Dennis, the most amazing recipe book you've ever seen.
Well, I'm going to wait to get my copy of that one. Folks, we got bongos in the background. Susan, as I usually can do, my vocal cords thank you for giving them a rest for this hour. It always happens.
Yeah, and listen, on December 7th, we'll have a great talk about curing
the hangover.
Yeah, and preventing hangovers, and how to get through the flu and cold season without getting a cold or a flu.
All right.
Remember, check out my November newsletter to find out.
We got to say goodbye. We got to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. See you all on a Friday, folks. Till then, Dr. Courtney with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones saying so long from the both of us.
AM Impact on Your Health is sponsored by Dennis J. Courtney, MD, Director of the Courtney Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 for Dennis J. Courtney, MD.